This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
A fisher's home bursting into flames as strong thunderstorms move through central Indiana. Officials say lightning may be to blame. What we know about the moments before the family called 911.
And all the rain putting Indiana farmers in a tough position. The slow start to crop season and what it will mean for food prices later this year. Thanks for joining us here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Nicole Griffin.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. The rain sticking around overnight. Some thunder may have even woken you up. Let's send things over to Todd Clausen to see what's going on right now.
Yeah, the thunder has come to an end. That's the good news. But yeah, it woke me up right around 1:15 this morning with a loud crack of thunder and the heavy rainfall. Things have quieted down, though, as we head here into the 5 o'clock hour this morning. We have just a few isolated downpours across parts of the area. Linden to Clarks Hill, over towards Thorntown, some spotty showers, one little downpour here right along I-74 as you work your way out of the Pittsboro area over towards Indiana 75, and then off towards the east, there's one little downpour as well. Just south of the Newcastle and the Henry County Municipal Building there, and that's right along I-70. So obviously there are some downpours out there, so over your travels here for your morning commute, it's not out of the question you're going to have to throw on the windshield wipers, but they're not all that heavy and they're not all that widespread. Nothing like we dealt with yesterday afternoon and evening, so that's the good news. And the better news is finally this storm system is going to start to push off towards the east, and that'll lead to better weather for the day tomorrow. But today there will be these spotty showers off and on really throughout the entire day. It's muggy right now. Temperatures are in the 60s and 70s as we work our way throughout the day today. Temperatures really don't do a whole lot. The one thing you will notice, it gets a little drier as the day goes on. Those temperatures eventually climb only back up to right around 71, 72 degrees for our afternoon high. The time now is 5:02. It's time for another update on the roadways.
All right, Todd, this is a live look right now at I-65 at Washington Street. You can see the roadways are wet out there. There is some standing water across central Indiana, so that is something you need to look out for as you head out the door this morning. No issues, though, to report on the roadways at this moment.
We are following breaking news from the west side. One person is dead, another in critical condition after a double shooting overnight.
It happened on West 29th Street near Riverside Golf Course just after 2:30 this morning. Right now, investigators have not released any other information, including any details on a possible suspect. Once we get another update, we will pass that along.
Scary moments for a Noblesville family after the storms moved through yesterday and brought a massive tree down onto the roof.
Luckily, everyone inside was okay. It happened right after the family returned from dinner. They heard the loud crack and rushed outside. Now, the family is renting the home, so they're working with their landlord to get the big cleanup process underway.
And in Fishers, this home left burned and missing a chunk of its roof, thought to have been destroyed after being struck by lightning. Video shows the home in the Hunters Run subdivision in flames before first responders arrived. Firefighters say the family was out when they the fire was out when they got home and they saw the fire. They called 911 and were able to rescue a pet. Crews say it took about 45 minutes to put the fire out. And the rain that comes with all these storms, though, is the real issue. This is the viral post showing the problem farmers all across central Indiana are dealing with right now.
You can see the tall corn stalks last year barely sprouting this year in these side-by-side pictures from Putnam County. The delay in getting those crops planted is because of all the rain.
Our Aaron Lish is live this morning with what exactly this delay means for farmers and what it means for you. Aaron, good morning.
Good morning. So there are more than 94,000 farmers here in Indiana, and they can't get their machines out into the fields because of all this rain, and now they are getting worried about their crops.
I'm 80, and so it's the worst one I've ever seen.
Gene Pruitt farms hundreds of acres of corn and soybeans, but the rain is throwing a wrench in things.
It's just kind of been a struggle. We just can't get 2 or 3 days in a row. We get 1 or 2 and then it rains again. So,
due to the weather, agriculture economist Jason Lusk reports there will ultimately be less corn produced this year, which has pushed up corn prices about 20% over the past month. So what does that mean to you?
You know, all your food at the grocery store and what have you, it comes from out here.
Lux says we may see a 1 to 3% increase in prices at the pumps and grocery stores. And for farmers like Pruitt, he's hoping to get as many crops in as he can before July.
We have to do the best of what we got and go from there.
So farmers can put in tiles into their fields, and with that, it can take out some of that water and drain it. But Pruitt says it can only do so much. So what he is hoping for is 85-degree weather and some sun. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Aaron, thank you for the latest on the persistent rain and flooding issues. You can head on over to the IndyChannel.com. You can also download the free Storm Shield app to get weather alerts about flooding where you live.
Cleanup still underway in Beech Grove this morning after an EF1 tornado touched down over the weekend. The storm damaging part of Beech Grove High School. School officials now say the cleanup will be covered by their insurance. In a post on Facebook, they say because of this, they do not want to accept any donations. They say any online fundraisers should be used to help other Beech Grove residents that were impacted by Saturday's storms.
Right now, a fundraiser is underway to help pay for a project that will forever honor the lives of Abby Williams and Libby German in Delphi. Planning for the Abby and Libby Memorial Park has been ongoing for the past year. Now organizers hope to raise $50,000 by August 14th. If they meet the goal, the park will qualify for a state grant for the same amount. If you would like to donate, you can go to the RTV6 app and click on this story. Plans for the park include softball fields, playgrounds, an amphitheater, and picnic shelters. And it has been more than 2 years since the girls were found murdered along a Delphi trail. Police are still searching for their killer. This is the sketch they hope will lead to an arrest. If you know who this man is or you know anything about the case, you can send in your tip to investigators. That phone number and email address are on your screen right now and posted online at theindychannel.com.
Months-long delays putting pedestrians on the north side at risk. They say crosswalk signals at several busy intersections near the Castleton Square Mall still are not working this morning. 4 months ago, a 24-year-old man was killed walking near 82nd Street in the Castleton Square Mall. The crosswalk signal at that intersection did not work. It's a problem still impacting people walking in that area to this day. This week, we counted 6 intersections along 82nd from Ivy Knoll to Bass Street where the signals are not working.
This is a big city. Not everything can get fixed right away, but I'm frustrated that it's taken so long to get to this point.
The Department of Public Works tells RTV6 they are aware about the broken signals and say they will be repaired by July 12th. If there's a safety issue in your community that you want us to check out, send us an email at workingforyou@rtv6.com.
Tonight, residents in Hamilton County have a chance to talk about body cameras potentially being used by the Fishers Police Department. The department is hosting a public meeting from 5 to 6 o'clock tonight at police headquarters on Municipal Drive. Officers will discuss community expectations, how the cameras will work, and other related issues. Body cameras are still new in central Indiana. Right now, IMPD officers are testing a pilot program wearing cameras.
A new city program is now underway helping put homeless Hoosiers back to work by giving panhandlers a job cleaning up city streets and sidewalks. The workers pick up trash downtown, sometimes going into alleyways to work. The new program was funded by an extension of parking meter hours downtown and in Broad Ripple earlier this year. One worker we spoke with said he became homeless after his mother died and he turned to alcohol and drugs. He said it's been tough to find a job and hopes more people will give the homeless population a chance.
I was going to other jobs, putting applications, and because I was homeless, they was shutting the door in on me. And then I went to Keys to Work, and I got this opportunity, and I'm happy now.
Workers can earn about $10 an hour through the program. Those we talked to say the work is not enough to live on, but it is a good start. It is 5:09. Let's get over to Todd.
All right, flash flood watch has been expanded across Indiana. If you've been with us here throughout this week, we've been starting off with the flash flood watch in southern locations, then it inched up a little bit more, and now it's the entire state of Indiana with all the rain we've seen over the past few days. So it's not going to take a whole lot to cause some flooding with some downpours out there. here throughout the day today, so be aware of that. And of course, we've been saying all week long and really all the time, if you see these floodwaters, do not try to drive through them. Now, here's the good news. Today, the rain intensity has decreased. We're not expecting those big tropical-like downpours, but we are expecting some scattered showers to move through. And you see there are a few showers out there right now moving through the Lebanon area over towards Frankfort as well as Lafayette. Some spotty showers near Newcastle. There's one just south of Noblesville as well. And we'll continue to have a spot shower chance in the forecast throughout the day today, but we are not expecting severe weather. However, if you have a flash flood warning, that will be alerted to you. If you have the Storm Shield app downloaded on your phone, you can pinpoint it to your exact location. It's an app. It's completely free and has an interactive radar on there that you can kind of check out before you maybe walk out the door and get your day going, and you can see exactly where those showers are. As far as temperatures today, a little on the cooler side. We're not really going to warm much at all throughout the day today, with highs that'll be in the low 70s. We'll talk more about a better Friday and a brighter Friday ahead coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you. Still ahead, dozens of Philadelphia cops put on desk duty, all because of their social media posts. What kinds of posts a watchdog group found that led to them being put on administrative duty?
Plus, would you get back in the water after a shark was spotted jumping some waves? The decision surfers on the California coast were forced to make. Coming up after the break.
Weekdays at 9 on RTV6.
The FBI is now helping investigate a string of deaths of American tourists in the Dominican Republic.
9 people have died in the past year, but island officials insist the deaths are not connected. FBI investigators are now testing samples taken from a hotel bar. Many bars in the rooms where the tourists died are also being tested. Officials looking for things like bacteria in the room and in the water. Despite the recent deaths, no travel advisories have been issued, and officials in the Dominican insist it is safe to visit.
Today, more than 70 Philadelphia police officers are on administrative duty because of things they posted on social media. The Plainview Project searched through posts made by officers in Philly and identified ones that threatened violence or death. An example included one officer posting he wanted to ram cars that have Obama bumper stickers. The Plainview Project was started by a group of Philadelphia lawyers. 22 officers in St. Louis were also flagged for their social media and cannot bring cases to the district attorney for prosecuting. A UPS driver is being hailed a hero after running into a burning home while out making deliveries. It happened in Boston over the weekend when 8 houses had caught fire. Scott McPherson drove by the scene and immediately jumped into action, running into one of the homes and pulling 2 people to safety.
I just made sure the truck was parked safely and just sprinted over and just was ready to make sure everybody was all right.
McPherson is a former Marine and said he didn't think twice about wanting to help and make sure everyone got out safely. Afterwards, he had to be treated for smoke inhalation, but luckily escaped without any major injuries. Guardian angel right there. Yesterday, we showed you a shark circling a fishing boat off the Jersey Shore. Today, we have one interrupting a surfing competition in California.
You have to look closely at that yellow circle on your screen. That is where you can see the shark jumping out of the water. The sighting happened during the USA Surf Championship. All the surfers were called back to shore after the sighting, but after lifeguards could no longer see the shark, the competition was back on. Surfers were then given the choice if they wanted to get back in the water and compete. It is 5:16 here at home. Todd, we're having a rough weather week, but there's some good news coming.
Yeah, Friday, finally, we'll get some sunshine back in this forecast. That is the good news. And as you look down at Monument Circle here, you can see obviously a lot of clouds out there still. And we just have kind of dreary conditions. It was kind of eerie when I walked in. We had the heavy downpour just moved through. The ground was wet, but I could still see the moon. And look, there's been some improvement there in the visibility. And that just shows you how quickly the clouds are moving through central Indiana, and that just shows you how quick the weather can change across the area as well this morning. 69 degrees, that's the current temperature. Right now, the wind's still out of the south-southwest at 13 miles per hour. That wind is going to change, though, and be out of the northwest later on this afternoon, and that's going to help to keep our temperatures from warming much at all, but really muggy this morning with this dew points up in the upper 60s. So we're in the 60s and 70s for actual temperatures right now. 69 in Bloomington, 66 in Lafayette, 71 in Muncie. And as you make your your way over into portions of Richmond, the temperature is at 66 degrees as well. As far as rain goes, we had some pretty good storms earlier this morning. Around 1, 2 o'clock, some pretty good thunderstorms rolled through. It's a lot quieter now, and this is just some plain old shower activity right now up near Frankfurt down towards Lebanon. But if your travels take you this morning on Interstate 65, you'll encounter quite a few of those showers, and there's one downpour just to the northwest of Crawfordsville, and then off towards the east, we have this shower that's making its way into Hagerstown right now, really right along Indiana 38 as you go into Hagerstown and Indiana Route 1 there as you make your way into portions of Henry and Wayne counties. So these showers continue to stream through. You notice the breaks in the clouds in spots, but what's going to happen is this area of low pressure is finally going to move off towards the east. That's good news because it takes the heavy rain threat out of the forecast for the day today. It's bad news because I mentioned those northwesterly winds. That's going to bring in some cooler air, and a lot of times when you bring in cooler air and you have an atmosphere like we do right now that's very unstable, you can flare up additional showers. So this morning we kind of have the chance of maybe a heavier downpour or two, and then as we work our way into the afternoon hours, it's just a few very hit or miss light rain showers that would quickly pass through. And the rain showers this afternoon and this evening probably not heavy enough to aggravate the flooding situation across the area. That is the good news going forward in this forecast. But nonetheless, it's another day you want to have the umbrella handy with you. Again, there's the chance of a spot storm through the noon hour, and then mostly cloudy skies this afternoon with a stray shower here or there. Tomorrow, finally, we get the sunshine back. We start off partly cloudy as we get into the evening hours, though. There will be the chance of a few spotty storms, but plenty of sunshine for a good duration to help to dry us out during the day tomorrow. And as we work our way back into Saturday and Sunday, the storms are back in the forecast, as well as the warm and muggy conditions.
All right, Todd, thank you. We are taking a live look now at our Traffic Now cameras. This is I-465 at US 421 Michigan Road on the north side. You can see traffic moving slowly in that area, and that is due to construction. And here is a live look at 62nd and Parker Avenue, just east of the Glendale Town Center. You can see a tree is partially down in the road. Our crews say drivers can get by, but you do need to be aware if you are driving in this area this morning.
Tonight, a new round of players will become pros picked up in the NBA draft.
Duke star Zion Williamson is expected to be picked first by the New Orleans Pelicans. As for the Pacers, they'll watch most of the first round before picking 18th unless they trade. So who will Indiana end up selecting tonight? Team officials say they are considering more than just picking the guy with the best skills available.
Well, obviously in the draft, you're looking for talent, so that's number one. But then, you know, just a lot of the ideals that we like here, guys that play together, guys that play hard, two-way players, offensive and defense. You know, an Indiana Pacers team is going to be hard-pressed to overlook the defensive end of the court. So, you know, those kinds of things, it's great to spend time with them, get to know them as people.
Well, the Pacers also have the number 50 overall pick in the second round. The draft starts tonight at 7:30 on ESPN.
Still ahead, how do you get 2 beluga whales from China to Iceland? Well, this massive cargo plane, of course. Why the 2 animals are getting a new home, coming up after the break.
Plus, the health department going door to door at a north side apartment complex, plagued with hot water issues and broken windows. What will happen next for residents fed up with all the problems? That's coming up in 10 minutes. It's 5:21. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 5:24. We're keeping an eye on the roads for you this morning. This is I-65 at Greenwood. You can see traffic moving just fine in this area, but a reminder, the roads are wet, so give yourself a little extra time as you're heading out the door this morning.
What happens when a peacock roams into the lion exhibit at a New York zoo? Well, unfortunately, nothing good. Officials at the Utica Zoo say one of the peacocks, Merlin, that roams free at the zoo, flew over the wall into the lion exhibit and was eaten. Merlin was a zoo favorite and usually spent time outside the gift shop. Despite the accident, the zoo says they have no plans to cage the peacocks and the birds will continue to roam free. R.I.P. Merlin.
Snakes on a plane has nothing on this next story. How about beluga whales on a plane? The 2 whales were flown from a China aquarium to their new home in Iceland this week as part of conservation efforts. They traveled on a special cargo plane equipped to hold temporary tanks. The 2 whales, Little Gray and Little White, reportedly passed the time by snacking on herring.
It's a type of fish.
Now that they are in Iceland, the two will live in a sea pen and in a creek that can be seen by taking a whale watching boat. Very cool.
I think I might need to borrow that cargo plane for my luggage for the next flight I take, because that's how much mine weighs, about as much as a whale.
All right, the question, what time is it, could soon be a thing of the past for one Norway town. That is because a group of residents are pushing to become the world's first time-free zone.
How does that work?
Well,
the conversation is happening on the island of Samaroy, where 69 days of the year the sun does not set. Residents say by getting rid of the time that designates day and night, they can make the most of the sun-filled days in the summer and feel less stressed out when it's dark from November to January. Dozens of the island's 300 residents signed a petition that was seen by Norway lawmakers, but so far no decision has been made.
I'm just
so they just get to like pick what.
Oh.
So like I could be like, oh well, in my head it's 3 in the afternoon, so I don't have to be at work.
Well, how do you tell people, hey, meet me at?
Right. Oh man, this is
we don't have
there's only 300 of them. I think they could just come up and do their own thing, right? It looks like it's pretty far north in Norway.
I don't know.
So,
sounds a little too complicated.
Right? Sounds like
I'm too regimented. It wouldn't work for me.
All right, outside right now we're dealing with some spotty showers. That'll be the case throughout the day today, but we really don't get into that heavy rainfall today. That is the good news. Tomorrow, a dry day, then a little uncomfortable and rainy over the weekend with more showers and storms. That carries into Monday, and then finally next week, it looks like we could really break this pattern with several days in a row with sunshine and temperatures in the 80s. The time now is 5:27. Plenty more news, weather, and traffic coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
On RTV6 News.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
More rain continues to move across central Indiana. Good morning, I'm Nicole Griffin.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. When will we finally see things start to dry out? And when will we see that sunshine last for more than a few minutes?
A big question.
Well, thank God we have Todd Clausen here with us, who's going to give us all those answers. Hey, Todd.
Hey, good morning, ladies. Good morning, everybody. There is improvement starting today. Now, there are some rain chances still around, but today we get rid of the heavy rain. Tomorrow is the day we really bring the sunshine back into the forecast. So that's something to look forward to. So our best rain chances today will be here throughout the morning hours. They're not completely zero later on this afternoon and this evening, but they become very, very spotty. So what's happening right now is we just have a few of these downpours that just kind of keep flaring up, and then they fade away and weaken, and then they flare up again. So you notice how spotty they are as you make your way just north of Crawfordsville here, and then right along US 136, and then as we slide over towards the Indianapolis Executive Airport there off of 421, there's a heavier shower near Whitestown and Zionsville. Then to the north, some spotty showers as you make your way into the Frankfort area. So these are rotating through right now. As this area of low pressure pushes off towards the east, we will still have a spotty shower chance off and on throughout the afternoon hours. But again, no real heavy rain and no severe threat is in the forecast for the day today. Temperatures are in the 60s and 70s. So as we work our way throughout the day today, I would still have the umbrella handy as some of these showers continue to move through. But there's a lot of dry hours mixed in throughout the day today. But it's a cooler day for us with high temperatures only in the low 70s.
All right, Todd, thank you. We are keeping a close eye on traffic for you this morning. We're taking a live look outside at I-65 at 21st Street. On our INDOT traffic camera, you can see everything moving just fine in this area. The roads are wet, though, so slow down. Let's take a turn at another one of our traffic cameras this morning. I-65 at I-465 on the northwest side. A little difficult to see what's happening here in this area. It does look like some flashing lights there. So as you're heading out the door, slow down and take it easy. Breaking overnight, one man is dead and another is in critical condition this morning following a shooting on the city's west side. The shooting happened around 2:30 this morning near West 29th Street and Barnes Avenue. Police have not released anything surrounding a suspect or what led up to this shooting. If you witnessed what happened overnight, call Crime Stoppers. That number 317-262-TIPS.
Overnight rain and storms not helping flooding across parts of their southern parts of our state. This is a look in Jackson County, where the sheriff says 15 to 20 roads are closed because of high water. Tuesday, officials had to rescue a stranded driver from Michigan. Sheriff Rick Meyer says all of the rain has led to multiple agencies across Jackson County doing dozens of water rescues.
We have good relationships with both of those, and we all work together and do our best to save lives. You know, we've had 21 since June 1st, and luckily nobody has been injured or died. And I would say our odds are probably getting slim that eventually something bad's going to happen.
State conservation officers near Seymour say in the last 3 days they've had to rescue 3 people, a fawn and a dog. Well, you just saw all that water in Jackson County, and as more rain continues to pound the Hoosier State, the 94,000 farmers here are also feeling the effects.
Yeah, our Erin Lish is live this morning, and she's talking to one farmer, finding out how all this weather is impacting him and his crops. Erin, good morning.
Good morning. So all of this rain, it really is setting these farmers back. They're telling me out there it's too wet, it's too muddy. They can't get their machines out into the field. So we find out what that means for the farmers and you, the consumer.
But if it's reasonably dry and you get a 2-inch rain, it'll handle it.
Farming his whole life, Gene Pruitt says this season is a rough one.
As soon as it goes down, you get it filled up 3 or 4 times, then you're going to lose whatever's in that spot.
Pruitt says things need to dry out so he can finish planting corn and soybeans. Agriculture economist Jason Lux says the weather has pushed up corn prices by about 20% over the past month.
Right now, there's a big surplus, but this year is probably going to bring it down and bring it back down to supplies won't be quite as abundant as they have been.
As the consumer, you might feel a slight effect at the pumps and grocery stores. Lux says the overall effect across the ag economy isn't looking good. Pruitt says this is the unpredictability of being a farmer, but he hopes the sun starts shining soon.
It's part of it, so, but it's kind of pushing the short end here.
Okay. So with time running out, those farmers have to decide what they're going to do. Are they going to continue to try to plant that corn? Are they going to try to switch to a different crop? Or will they take that prevent plant payment through insurance? Meredith?
Erin, thank you. Brown County State Park and its lodge will remain closed through the weekend. DNR officials announcing on Wednesday heavy rainfall is still having an impact on drinking water in the park. Officials say there is still too much sediment from heavy rains coming into the water system to allow production of potable water. The park's water source is Lake Ogle, which is on park property. People with reservations for camping or lodging inside the park are being issued refunds or moved to other state parks with space. And with much more rain expected in the days ahead, you will want to keep an eye on the weather section of the IndyChannel.com. And don't forget, you can also get location-based alerts from Storm Team 6 on the Storm Shield app.
It's a story only RTV6 has been on top of for months. After complaints of mold, broken windows, and ignored requests for help, the Marion County Public Health Department sent investigators door to door at the Lakeside Point and Nora Apartments on Wednesday. It was a response to a large number of housing complaints and cases in recent months. RTV6's reporting got the attention of local representatives who are speaking out for the very first time about the conditions at the complex.
Our job is just to make sure everybody stays engaged until there's some sort of resolution here so that our neighbors can live in humane conditions.
The health department's work is not done quite yet. They will go through all of the information collected Wednesday and decide if more violation orders need to be issued. We are told that could happen as early as next week.
Investigators are looking into whether an animal rights activist group persuaded employees at Fair Oaks Farm to abuse animals. The Newton County prosecutor says a witness supports allegations from a suspect claiming an undercover employee with the Animal Recovery Mission encouraged the abuse. The group's founder calls the allegations ridiculous and absurd. The farm in Northwest Indiana continues to face backlash after the organization released video of the abuse.
A death investigation is underway at a northeastern Indiana ethanol plant. Investigators in Wells County say 42-year-old Ryan West of Bainbridge, Ohio, died after becoming trapped in a piece of equipment. The incident happened at the Valero Renewable Fuels plant in Bluffton, south of Fort Wayne. A Valero spokesperson says West was employed by a vendor. Indiana State Police are now investigating this incident.
This morning, Muncie police are trying to figure out why two teenagers didn't hear or see a freight train at a Southside crossing early Wednesday morning. Authorities say a 17-year-old girl and an 18-year-old man were hit by the train at West 23rd and Liberty Street just before 6:30. Police say the pair was walking in the area. The girl suffered serious head injuries and was flown to an Indianapolis hospital. The man was not seriously injured.
Covering education this morning, an important deadline is coming up for 7th and 8th grade students considering college. Families have until June 30th to fill out a 21st Century Scholar application. There are some income eligibility requirements, but if you don't apply, you cannot receive benefits. If you're not familiar with 21st Century Scholars, recipients receive up to 4 years of college tuition at any participating college or university. 14-year-old Ryan McMillan has already applied. While the program lifts a huge financial burden off of families, Ryan's mother says it helps students in other important ways as well.
There are some components of the program that kind of shift the responsibility onto my daughter, some things that she's going to have to take care of in order to be continually eligible every year. And I think that's fantastic in that it matures her in her responsibility.
Some of the guidelines for 21st Century Scholars include maintaining a 2.5 GPA and pledging not to use illegal drugs or alcohol or commit crimes or delinquent acts while in school. For more information, go to scholars.in.gov. All right, Todd, I see that graphic there. Umbrella needed once again.
You know, the question mark. So yesterday I told you had to have the umbrella in the afternoon, in the evening hours, and we got into all those heavy downpours. Well, as we go throughout the day today, I think you should have your umbrella. I don't necessarily think you're going to need the umbrella at all times because our shower threat here and the thunderstorm threat is a lot more spotty today, and it's not as widespread, and it is not as heavy. Yesterday, we got those big-time downpours with the heavy rainfall. Well, today our rain intensity is mainly light, and the coverage is pretty spotty in these showers, so that is some improvement over what we saw yesterday, and you can see a few of these showers moving through currently here this morning. The steady rainfall and the heaviest of the rain is to our north as this area of low pressure pushes off towards the east. On the backside of it, there will be some wraparound showers. So I do think you'll see some spotty showers off and on throughout the day today. But again, we're not getting into the heavy rain. No threat of severe weather. And there are a lot of dry hours mixed in throughout the day today. But you notice the winds out of the northwest at about 14 to 15 miles per hour. That's enough to keep our temperatures pretty steady throughout the day today. Not a whole lot of warming as highs only get into the low 70s.
Todd, thank you. After a day of criticism from several 2020 presidential candidates, Joe Biden isn't backing down from controversial comments, that is. Straight ahead, why the former vice president says it should be another candidate issuing an apology.
Plus, this is not something you expect to see at a Little League baseball game. Up next, what these parents were fighting over. It's 5:41. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. We'll be right back.
Gain Flings. Seriously good scent.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 5:44. We're keeping a close eye on traffic this morning. This is I-465 and I-69 State Road 37. This is an area that typically gets backed up around the morning commute time, but right now traffic seems to be moving just fine.
On the Democracy 2020 front, defiant Joe Biden is refusing calls to apologize for comments he made about finding common ground with senators who supported segregation. The former vice president receiving the sharpest attacks to date from his Democratic 2020 rivals. Biden's comments about the hyper-bipartisanship on Capitol Hill seemed to backfire, but some of his longtime colleagues in Washington came to his defense, saying his words were taken out of context. The controversy also underscoring the challenge Biden faces as he works to use his decades in Washington to his advantage.
There's not a racist bone in my body. I've been involved in civil rights my whole career, period.
Senator Kamala Harris rebuking Biden, calling his comments misinformed and wrong. Senator Cory Booker called on him to apologize to the people who are hurt by the vice president's words.
A new UN report says there was, quote, sufficient credible evidence Saudi Arabia's crown prince bears responsibility for the death of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The Indiana State grad and Washington Post columnist was killed last October after entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. Saudi officials originally claimed a group of rogue operators belonging to Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's inner circle were responsible. The nation's attorney general eventually admitted the murder was premeditated. The UN's report does not specifically say the Saudi Crown Prince or King are guilty of a crime.
Authorities now say Boston Red Sox slugger David Ortiz was not the intended target of a shooting in his hometown earlier this month. Ortiz was in a crowded bar in Santo Domingo when a gunman approached him and opened fire at close range. The target was apparently one of Ortiz's friends. The mastermind behind the hit wanted his cousin killed for ratting him out to police. Authorities say he arranged it from the U.S. The gunman is one of 11 who have been arrested in connection to the shooting. Several others, including the mastermind, remain at large.
They started out throwing baseballs and ended up throwing punches. Several injuries were reported at a youth baseball game in Lakewood, Colorado. It was a game involving 7-year-olds, but it wasn't the kids who were fighting. The Lakewood Police Department says coaches and parents unhappy with a baseball game involving 7-year-olds and a 13-year-old umpire took over the field and began assaulting each other. 4 people were charged with disorderly conduct and fighting in public. Thankfully, no children were hurt. All right, it is 5:47. Todd, that shot is gradually changing as the morning goes on.
You know, I've been watching it here all morning, and I love it. That's why I keep showing it to you. It's a pretty clear view of Monument Circle right now, but you can, if we sit on this for a little while, you notice the clouds would move through, and you could see when you walk out the door this morning, if you look up, the clouds are moving by really, really quick. So things will change here quickly throughout the morning, depending on where you are. We have a very, very active atmosphere still. There's a lot of instability around there, a lot of humidity, so it doesn't take very long to flare up some isolated downpours with the humidity as high as it is, and I'll show you that in just a second. Look in the background there. You can see another band of cloud cover moving through. 69 degrees. That's the current temperature here in Indy. And temperatures anywhere you go this morning, they're mild, anywhere from 66 to 71 degrees across the area. With that said, though, temperatures won't really do a whole lot throughout the day today. They're actually going to hold pretty steady from start to finish throughout the day, right around the 71, 70 degree mark. So don't expect much in the way of a change temperature-wise as you walk out the door this morning. It's kind of what you get later on this afternoon. Now, as far as the rain goes, I've watched these downpours kind of just flare up here north of Crawfordsville, towards Wingate, over towards Darlington, a few more just north of Lebanon. So these downpours flare up. They put down a lot of rain in a very short period of time, and then they kind of fade away. So as we slide a little further off towards the east here into Westfield and Carmel into Noblesville, this was a heavier downpour earlier, but now it's just kind of a light shower as it weakens, and eventually this too will probably fade away pretty quickly over the course of the next 10 to 15 minutes. So that's what I mean by there's still a lot of instability in the atmosphere. It's not a solid line of storms coming through. Yesterday was a slam dunk case for the heavy rain in the afternoon. Today everything is just going to be kind of very spotty in nature across the area as this area of low pressure finally pushes off towards the east. So throughout the day today, yes, you'll probably encounter a shower at some point, but it's going to be pretty much on the light side, and there's no threat of severe weather throughout the day today. That is the good news. And then the bulk of the shower activity is out of here by the time we get to, say, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then as we work our way throughout the evening hours, there will be just a few quick light passing showers as the cooler air starts to work its way into the area. So if you do have plans this evening, the ground may be wet. I was supposed to be in a golf league last night. Got rained out, obviously, with the heavy rain. So if you have a tee time tonight, the ground may be sopping wet still, but probably you'll get it in with no real additional heavy rain in the forecast falling from the sky. Temperatures fall tonight from the 70s, eventually into the mid-60s. Now, tomorrow's our day. Tomorrow we get the sunshine back. It's finally sunny. We start off right around 62 degrees. We get back up to near 80 degrees tomorrow with a mixture of sun and clouds. So lots of dry hours, lots of sunny hours tomorrow. One little hiccup, though, is tomorrow evening there could potentially be a quick little passing front that comes through with a quick passing shower. I wouldn't bank on it at this point, but it will be a possibility tomorrow evening, something to keep in mind if you have Friday night plans. But that front ushers back in the humidity and the heat. Saturday and Sunday going to be warm across the area, and with the heat and humidity comes the chance of some more scattered storms. Nicole?
All right, Todd, thank you. We want to show you a traffic impact this morning as you're heading out the door. This is I-65 at State Road 267. We do know there has been a crash in this area, and it is expected to be closed for the next 60 minutes. That information is from the Boone County Sheriff's Office. You see first responders there on the scene, so if this is part of your commute, expect some delays or take another area this morning. We do want to show you a live look at another impact on traffic this morning. This is near East 62nd and Parker Avenue. Our photographer there live on the scene where a tree is down in the road. He does say traffic can still move around this area, but there will be impacts like this throughout the morning. We know roads across central Indiana could be closed due to flooding, so keep an eye and take extra caution as you're heading out the door this morning. The stories getting the most traction on social media are coming up next. Our trending 6 is spicy, especially if you're happy to be in the Big Easy on NBA Draft Day. It's 5:51. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. We'll be right back.
1,000-mile warranty at Honda of Fishers.
Before you head out the door, it's time for the trending 6.
These are some of the stories that everyone is sharing online and you'll want to know about.
The Jeopardy champion who won more than $2 million is honoring the host of the game show. James Holzhauer donated part of his winnings to a Chicago area pancreatic cancer walk in Alex Trebek's name. An organizer for the 2019 Naperville Pancreatic Cancer Research Walk said Holzhauer sent her a donation for more than $1,100. With the donation, he wrote the message for Alex Trebek and all the other survivors.
Astronomers have found thousands of planets that could potentially support life, but these two are relatively close to us. They're just about 12 light years from Earth. That's more than 70 trillion miles, but still close by the standards of the universe. The planets orbit Teegarden star, which is similar to our sun, and are billions of years old, which means theoretically life could have had time to evolve.
Some rich movie stars spend their money exactly how you think. For example, Russell Crowe. He told Howard Stern this week that a couple of years ago, he dropped $35,000 on a dinosaur head he saw at Leonardo DiCaprio's house. He says he bought it for his kids. Crowe doesn't have it anymore, however. He sold it last year at an auction he held to pay for his divorce.
Witchcraft from the world of Harry Potter will soon be available on your cell phones. A new Harry Potter film mobile game titled Wizards Unite rolls out in the U.S. tomorrow. It's an augmented reality game that makes fictional characters appear on people's phones as if they existed in the real Muggle world.
Maybe this is how LeBron James enticed the Lakers to trade for Anthony Davis. There are a lot of new reports about additions to the cast of Space Jam 2. The Athletic is reporting that Davis will join LeBron in the movie, as well as a number of other NBA stars, including Damian Lillard and Klay Thompson. The report also says several WNBA players, such as Diana Taurasi, will also be in the cast. I'm just hoping they bring back MJ, baby.
Same here. Well, the NBA draft is tonight, and this is one new way New Orleans is welcoming likely #1 draft pick Zion Williamson. A Popeyes restaurant there has created the 82-inch wingspan box matching Zion's massive wingspan. This is real now. It is 77 boneless wings, 11 biscuits, 11 orders of fries and sauces. It will cost $74.69. It is only available today at Popeyes Canal Street location in the Big Easy. That is a lot of wings there, Todd.
Looks good. And they forgot to mention a trip to the cardiologist afterwards with all that.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
All right, it is good. All right, outside right now, temperatures are in the 60s and 70s. It's mild, it's muggy, a few spotty showers out there, and that'll be the case throughout the entire day today. There could be a few downpours this morning, and then those spotty showers continue into the afternoon, but the afternoon ones should be very, very light. Flash flood watch is still posted with a high temperature today only in the low to mid 70s. The time now is 5:57. We'll be back here in just a few minutes.